This is Adam Joad of Scattered Hamlet, the Alpha Rock Supreme, the American Dream, and you're listening to the one, the only, the brutally delicious podcast. Get some, son.
So, I had never heard of you guys before until we started prepping for this interview, and I just got my ass kicked. I was driving in the car, and I was like, "Okay, I gotta turn this on," and I just told Google, "Hey, play Scattered Hamlet," and they played Shelter.
Okay.
And I was just like, "Holy fuck!"
That's usually the track. Like I basically tell people, here, listen to this song, and if you don't like it, it's like you're not gonna like anything else we do. You know, it's like if you like that, then that's pretty much what we do. So that's a good example.
So then I got in the house and I was like, okay, I go to your YouTube channel and I scroll down to the bottom to see the latest video, and then I played All Talk. And that fucking video is hilarious. And it's also a fucking kick-ass rock song.
Yeah, we had fun with that video. That was ridiculous.
I'm like, why are they all sitting in a garage with, is that carbon dioxide? What the hell is that?
we took all everything with that whole setup was like completely like a ghetto operation. Like it was, that was us blocking in all of our like fog machines we use for stage, because like I said, I'm into Kiss, so when we try to do like production on stage, I just was like, well, how would a bunch of hillbillies with duct tape in a Walmart parking lot make Kiss effects? And it's like you do it with fireworks, fog machines, like just the most basic stuff. And we kind of did the same thing with the video. We had a real cool squad that a filmmaking team called Burning Ball Productions that does that kind of stuff. And it was a great match. We had a really good time doing that. We did the Stereo Overthrow video as well. They did both those for the album, and it was fun. Like it's ridiculous. It's full
I just can't believe you guys have been around. Like the earliest video I can find is 2014. How long have you guys been around for?
Well, that's a safe number. We were around a while before that. Like we were working on the demos probably in 2009, 2010. But, then we went from going out and playing a little bit with an EP and learning a little bit more about what the band was. And then, probably about the time you saw like 2013, 2014, that's when we started touring and stuff and, ramped up the operation and kind of, got our lineup that would start touring and, going from, at the time we all lived in Los Angeles. So, going from like an LA based band to, something that was, working on being a national band,
But the question I have is how the hell is it just now that I'm hearing about you guys? It's like fucking, like I would have killed to find out about you guys in 2014.
What's funny? You know what it is? It's because we've never signed like to a label or had a big push or anything like that. So like our entire operation has been really punk rock and underground since we started. We didn't intend it that way. It just,
DIY.
It just happened that way. We all came from punk bands, and when the first label passed, we're like, all right, whatever. We just keep doing. When the first, we've been through a bunch of different booking agencies. And then finally, we got like a good management, and they got us like, got us like reeled in a little more. We went from, being a little more, business minded about it, and learning actually how this industry works instead of just like driving around like a freaking bunch of pirates. It was like, oh, you mean their strategy?
A good friend of mine, Joe Keithley from DOA, he is the king of DIY.
Yeah, those guys. We took lessons. From Discord Records, from our friends run AF Records in Pittsburgh, and being an old punk rocker, we just followed them around and took notes. We didn't really know there was other ways to do this, and then and it was And then, when the labels, we started doing well enough that the labels did start coming back around, then, the first thing they want to do is change everything that made you successful. And it was like, a really good metal label that I love the bands on, they wanted me to just sit down with a team of their writers and just make like algorithm radio rock, like, and just with the hillbilly spin. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And, and split the pie 6 ways with a bunch of your producers. And yeah, it was just silly. So I was like, nah, we've been doing well by ourselves. So, we just, not to say that we wouldn't, but, if it's not right, we'll just keep doing what we're doing, and it's, but unfortunately, folks like yourself who would like it, don't always get to hear it, because you kind of got to come across this.
Right.
Well, as I was waiting to join this Zoom meeting, I blasted it out to like 6 people I know already. I was like, because we do a lot of interviews with newer bands. We do experienced bands, all kinds of. We do everything. Like today, we did everything from the bass player from Dire Straits to
dude. Anybody who plays with freaking Mark Knopfler has got to be the man.
Yeah. Then we did the drummer from
Oyster
Cult.
Oh yeah, that's freaking awesome.
But then we also do bands that have one song out and they're on like a small metal label.
Yeah.
So we get perspectives from all over the place, and all I got to say is keep doing what you're doing. Keep kicking ass.
We appreciate it, and the feedback's been great. That's why we keep doing it. Like since Stereo Overthrow came out a couple weeks ago, we've shipped to like over 40 US states, like 5 different countries. And it's like, and it cracks me up because like, some industry people will be like, hey, well, what about your Spotify numbers? I was like, I don't know. I'm shipping albums and stuff and shirts all over the place. So I'm going to go with that right now instead of the McDouble I can get from McDonald's with, 100,000 streams,
Right.
Right. Oh man, we have 100,000 streams. Here's your $2.
Yeah. That was the most, cause one time, we talked to like a PR company and they got us, like on these playlists and, you get us, we get hundreds of thousands of streams. And like, when I won't bore everybody with the financial details, but when I got the check back for this, I was like, we should just go back to like selling vinyl and like playing shows. That wasn't very useful at all for all the effort, the return on investment and all that stuff was kind of silly, so I was like, whatever, but that's kind of how this goes. You just, maybe for a certain band, that's a good model. Maybe for a band like us, it's not, so you just go with it,
You guys kind of seem more like a live band.
Oh, yeah.
Not a production band.
No.
You know what I mean? Like
we had to learn how to be a studio band. If you follow like our discography, you could see we got a lot slicker. It wasn't because we wanted to get slick. We just got better at it, like it was,
You're not going up with a laptop and hitting play and then jamming along.
Or when they're like, we show up, they're like, the sound man, we started playing, pretty good festivals and stuff now. And they're like, hey, do you have any backing tracks? I was like, I don't even know how to program a backing track. I was like, put a mic on the Marshall,
right,
and turn it on, and the rock,
and let's go.
Out.
Right.
It's not like that's how everybody that I ever listened to did it. I was like, I think it sounds pretty good when Richie Blackmore does it. So
right,
let's take that. Hey, let's take that over your freaking. I hit play and have a backing track, and just wasn't us, and I like. There's a lot of bands I like to do stuff like that. But,
me too.
But
I have nothing against backing tracks.
No,
but there's something to be said about kick-ass rock and roll with just 4 or 5 guys on stage
playing off each other, right?
Yeah, that's it. Like you let it go. You make mistakes. It breathes. It's that's our rule. It's like if it, pretty much if you're on stage with us and it doesn't have tubes and say Marshall on it, you're not playing guitar.
Right.
Oh yeah. I was in Vegas in July, and I was really excited because I was going to go see Dawkins with George Lynch.
Oh yeah.
And I was just like, holy fuck. But George Lynch actually opened the show with his band.
Okay.
Which was really weird.
But
I can't. It was like
he can do what he wants,
But like, there was 3 people on stage, and they sounded like a fucking freight train coming at you. And I was just like, holy fuck! It had been so long. Whoa, it's getting dark in here. Sorry. It had been so long since I had seen a kick-ass rock and roll band like that.
And
like
he's a good person to bring it too. You know, I mean, because he's a very versatile and from what I've learned about him, you know, he's a largely like kind of self-taught guy, you know, that went back in and filled in a lot of the space later. And that's kind of the direction that we went in. You know, like I said, you know, we're from punk bands, so we joined bands and then learned to play our instruments. So you know, there's a lot of you know, like, and over the years it was like, oh yeah, well, you know, you grew from playing, you know, the 3-chord punk and being like, man, I want to play some ripping leads and some riffs. So
yeah,
go back and listen to Skinner and and all that, you know.
I'm just gonna turn the light on one second.
Yeah. But yeah, that's been our you know, experience with that, you know, and it's funny because sometimes you know, something that should be obvious to us isn't. You know?
Right.
Probably no.
Are you planning on doing the you know, a full album sort of thing? Are you planning with Stereo Overthrow, or is it going to be the single model?
No, we actually had the album out. It's been shipping for the past couple weeks now. So we have it on vinyl, CD. I like albums, you know, like I'll put stuff out as singles, but when I write, I write it like as an album from top to finish, and I write it like it's on old school, like vinyl. It's like, this is side 1, this is side 2. So when you hear it from top to bottom, that's the intended order of the song. Now,
so how much time do you actually spend sequencing then, right? Because that's a whole art form in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. We've been notoriously slow at it in the past, but we're getting faster. So it's you know, yeah, we try to take it on a journey and do that. Like, cause I don't know, like I like the album model and I don't think doing the single model hurts the album model. Like if you have good songs on there, it works. I mean, like I'm not trying to compare, but like take a band like Pink Floyd, who is an album band all the way. But you know, like you could take a song like you know, Money or something, and they stand as a single just as well. But in the context, you know, they fit into everything. You know.
Where are you guys located?
I live on the West Virginia, Pennsylvania border. Like that's where we are right now.
Oh, cool.
And that's where I grew up. And we live between here, Nashville and Louisville, Kentucky. So like we're all kind of within a few hours of each other. We usually tour out of Nashville.
Is that all?
You're not too far from me
Appalachia there,
then.
right? Is that like Appalachia there?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm in six.
It's a beautiful fucking place.
Where are you? I'm sorry, you said you're.
I live in Loudoun County, North Virginia.
Okay, yeah, it's the same hillside, just a different part of the hill.
Yeah. But it, like I never knew because I'm kind of new here. I grew up in Canada, and I moved to the DC area here. But I drove down and I came through Pennsylvania, West Virginia, that area. Fuck, it's beautiful up there, man.
Yeah, it's pretty. The other guys are more city, like they like to, even though they came from the country, they live like in Nashville and in Louisville, and Rich was living in Los Angeles. You know, whenever I didn't have to like live in Los Angeles for music anymore, the first thing I did was move back. You know, my wife and we came back here to the hills. It's I like it. It's quiet. You know, I'm a country boy. It's
and you can crank your fucking amp.
Oh yeah, I said I play in this room. I play my Marshall at stage volume. It's like a giant karaoke machine. It's how I practice. You know, so
nice.
I can go shoot my gun out back, you know, or you know, shoot my bows and yeah, hang out. That's just you know, it's a little simpler for me, you know, and having you know living in Los Angeles for 10 years, it was quite a culture shock, you know.
Oh yeah, I imagine.
It's Los Angeles is a different city.
Oh yeah, it was
a different world.
Oh yeah, and then there's me. You know, like people would come past my garage, like that were in the same apartment complex as me, and they'd like look when I'd be in there working on my motorcycle. They'd look at me and they're like, "Are those deer antlers? You know, is that a bow or is that a turkey fan?
Right?
Like, you know, is it turkey feathers?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "Well, where did you get those?" I was like, "I got that one, you know, over the hill from my mom's place."
Right. Right.
They're like, "You shot it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I ate it too. It was really crazy."
What an idea! I didn't go to the grocery store and buy my shit.
But you know that we lived in right on the, like near the beach, so that was, you know, that was as foreign to them as like to me, the first time somebody took me out surfing and I saw a dolphin fin, I was like, that's a shark to me, man. I'm out.
Right. I'm out.
I'm like paddling back in. I'm like, no, that is a sea creature that's as big as me. They all laugh at me just like I laugh at them for, not knowing how to skin a deer,
Okay, here's something off topic. You ever watch the show Alone?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God, dude. It's a show about survival skills.
Okay.
And there's one series on Netflix, and they fucking drop them off in the Northwest Territories in Canada.
Oh, wow.
But sometimes they do Alaska. It's always in the north. And then these people have to hunt and build shelters and everything, but all without tools. They just have to live off the land.
Oh, that's crazy.
I'd be fucked.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'd be so fucked.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Like when we go like on tour and stuff, like people look at me and they like ask me questions about like, outdoors things and stuff like that. I was like, listen, guys, you don't understand. Like in my family, I'm the artist idiot. Like they like my uncles and cousins, they're good at that shit. Like, those would be the people that I follow out there. But like they look at me and like, I'm the guy that just would like, they taught me to process deer and to track them because I would never get up early enough to, go hunting or anything like that. Because I'm sleeping off a hangover from, playing music. So yeah, I'm like the weirdo artist. And, so it's kind of funny because so some people greatly overestimate their skills at that kind of stuff. I wouldn't last very long.
Right. I wouldn't last 2 seconds.
Yeah. I'd be like, I've seen what to do, but that,
Yeah.
I've seen Yngwie play Paganini too, and I can't do that.
Yes. Nice.
That's funny.
If you guys get Yngwie jokes, I have an amazing one that only a couple people get. And on my one, I started working with Dean Guitars, and I had them one. And I take all the switches out, going back to the rock. Like my guitars are stripped down. Like there's a switch that's a dummy switch, and there's a Dungeons and Dragon die on it. So when people ask me what that does, it's like this. Yngwie can play so many notes so fast he can slay dragons. I've seen it on his album cover. But since I can't play notes very fast and I just bend and point, the only dragons that I've ever slayed are playing Dungeons and Dragons. So that's how I kill dragons with my guitar.
Nice.
That's my Yngwie.
Nice. Very nice.
So you pull out all the switches.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, pull. Sometimes it's mostly only the bridge pickup, depending on the guitar. It's usually a P90 derivative, and I was a Gibson guy for a long time until Dean came along and gave me a pretty, was like, here, take these guitars and don't play Gibsons, and Gibson did not offer me that deal. So,
right.
So I was like, all right, cool, So I got him, and I sat down, and talked, with my artist rep and with, some of my techs here, and we just start stripping them and, try to make them sound as close to, like the classic stuff that I do. So it's usually just a bridge, P90 or a humbucking size P90 with a single switch, and the other switch then just becomes a kill switch. So when I'm singing, I can flip it off, and kind of like on the verse.
The people at Dean are so
awesome
nice
people. I couldn't be more happy with the people that I work with. And you know what the thing is too, I actually ended up really liking the product, because a lot of people might just play it on stage then not play it in the studio. I didn't, last time I recorded, I didn't bring my my gorgeous ES330 Gibson. I didn't bring any of my vintage stuff. I brought my Deans, and I got the job done. And I thought they were great. Good stuff.
What do you guys have planned going forward? Any kind of tours in the works or any?
Yeah. Actually, we've got next week. We're going to be in Akron, Ohio, Philadelphia, and Pittsburgh, and do 3 quick dates. And then we'll probably take off the rest of the year. And then next year we're going to come back. And just tour on the new album. Try to get to as all the markets that we haven't been getting to, especially with COVID, we're trying to get back out there. We were out there for a little bit in August, had a festival, went out with the band Anamortem, we supported them. And that was a lot of fun. Those guys are all in Texas Hippie Coalition too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's like it's like the guys in Texas Hippie Coalition without Big Rich as the singer. They have another band that used to, be in they were signed back in the day. I forget what label they're on, but they took a break. Then those guys joined THC, and now when they're not, THC's not doing stuff, they go out as Anti-Mortem. So, we've been friends with them a long time. So we're like, yeah, let's get out of here and do some shows. So we.
What was it like touring in August?
It was hot in Texas, but Lord, that was rough. But it was really cool. Going to the first festival up in Minnesota, it was Rock Fest, and people were ready for that. Like the day we played, there's two stages there. We played. Steel Panther headlined our stage, and the main stage, Rob Zombie was headlining. So like people are losing their mind. It was just a good time to be out, and we were excited. They were excited. You could definitely tell it was good stuff all around.
Yeah, I imagine
kind of probably a bit
crazy.
Stressful too. Kind of stressful, but then you get the energy, and it's kind of like, oh fuck it, let's rock.
Oh yeah, and like we said, we're a live band. It always kind of like to me, if you just put me in front of people, that's what I do. Like I have a harder time. Like if one person comes up to me to like talk to me, like at like the merch booth or something, I get really awkward and weird, and I don't know how to like connect with you. But put me in front of like 100 people, like I know exactly what to do. So like it's funny. So like I'll have like younger or I'll just have different musicians be like, how do you handle stage fright? I was like, I don't know what that is, because like to me it's like the more people, this is just more awesome and more epic. I was like, but maybe you could teach me how to like talk to like one person and make a connection.
Right. Nice.
Yeah, I'm like weird. No one ever sees me like on tour. Like when the band does stuff, they're like, where's Joad? And they're like, oh, he you don't ever know where he is. And I'm probably like sitting by a stream fishing, or like by myself, like in the hotel room watching pro wrestling, or Kiss Me.
Right.
Pro wrestling.
Oh yeah.
That reminds. I shouldn't tell this story, but I will.
No, you should.
I was on I was on 70,000 Tons of Metal, and it was 2016, 2017, one of those years. And I went with my buddy, and he is a huge wrestling fanatic, like always, and he always does like the Hulk. Yeah. What was that? What's his catchphrase? The Hulk. You better watch out, brother, or whatever.
Yeah, brother, there's a lot of brother talk in wrestling. Like that's
and so we went around and we made a mini documentary of all the people we could find mimicking Hulk Hogan.
Nice.
And we were just wasted. I'm not gonna lie. you wouldn't do that sober.
No, that's not something. That's definitely I've been drinking idea. Be like, what we need.
But everybody, we had like the hugest rock stars on that boat doing it. We have like the fans doing it. We have the staff doing it. We had Royal Caribbean staff doing it. Like everybody did it.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. Like we've made our love of wrestling like known so much now. We've actually made friends with pro wrestlers. So like we have like a lot of our we have friends in WWE, friends like in indie circuit and stuff, right. And it's pretty funny. So now we've gotten to go to like wrestling events like children as like guests and come back.
That's so, funny.
Like, yeah, it's funny, man.
Now you got to convince them to use one of your songs.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, there's been a couple. I know Dave Mastiff in the UK. He was on What Culture Wrestling. He used Shelter as his opener for a while. Yeah, there's been a few. Like I'm always Wrecking Ball Legursky's from up Connecticut way. He uses our stuff, and he's been getting
sweet.
Cool.
A couple different ones. Yeah. So yeah, we oh, believe me, I'm all over that. I'm like, yes, I want to do that wrestling team. Like
yeah.
Yeah, so no, that's what it's all about. It has to be for like the right wrestler that like our whole thing fits.
Right.
But and if you've seen it, you guys probably have not seen us live. Like we take a lot like from professional wrestling heels. Like if you see me on stage, I'm a dick to people. Like it's funny. Like we kind of just walk out there with like this ridiculous swagger, and
I'll drive somebody,
and people like it. And the more we've done it, the more. Yeah, we don't go that far, but I mean, like how like the pro wrestling heel has the is arrogant, has the swagger, and like that's how we roll out on the stage. And it's if you talk to us afterwards, we obviously are all we're still people that raced Power Wheels in a video,
right? Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I have a beer keg I stand on stage. That's like, a lot of singers have like the ego box. I stand on a beer keg.
Nice.
But it's fitting, I think.
Yeah.
Such a delay.
It fits better, It's
yeah. That's
cool.
all.
Well, Bruce, you got anything else?
That is all I have.
Yeah, it's
Sorry, we got a weird delay. That runs my question.
Bruce,
I'm in Richmond.
Where's he? Richmond. Okay. My brother lives in Fredericksburg, and the last time we played in Richmond, I remember going there. I got a new pair of cowboy boots. That was awesome, and and we went to Guar Bar, which was a lot of fun. I had Balzac sign one of my deans on the wall, like he drew his face on the back. I'm very excited.
Oh, nice. That's pretty cool. But they're
good people. We played with them before,
That runs me to the end of my questions. Kris, you got anything else at all?
I don't, man. I really appreciate you taking the time, and make sure that you keep us informed of what's going on with your band.
Yeah.
So that we can share with our social media.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We can repost this, everything. Cause we appreciate it. Like folks like yourself, that's how we've gotten the word out, like it's and, we've been fortunate enough that, the music journalists, again, like yourself, understood what we were doing. And that's been very helpful. Like, so, because if you guys aren't getting it, then, we have problems.
I've got to say, I know Kris already said it, but thank you for keeping good rock or good music alive, for sure. I appreciate it.
Hey, we appreciate it. Hopefully we can keep doing it for a while and don't run out of ideas,
Right.
Nice.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend, for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Anytime. And hopefully I'll see you guys. We're not that far from each other. We'll get through that one.
Yeah. If you're in the area, let me know. I'll come out and drink some beers and rock out.
Game on.
Game on.
All right.
Be well, my friend. Happy Thanksgiving.
Cheers.